Welcome to the Death Talk podcast. The vision for this podcast is to break the culture of silence surrounding death and dying. I'm your host, Lisa Murray. Hi, everybody. It's Lisa. And today we have a couple of interesting death stories, but they're not so much death stories as they are possible reincarnation stories. This first came to my mind when my nephew was little, and my sister said he would always talk about this race car. And I think he was probably around 3, and everything magical and everything important was inside of this race car. He'd always say, "Oh yeah, let me go get that in the race car." And we're talking about something about needing money for it, and he'd come up to me and say, "Hey, Annie, see, I can help you. I have to get it. It's in my race car." And he always said, like, everything magical was in this race car. And we were like, okay. And after a while, my sister even got him like a bed with race car sheets, because we thought, oh, he just likes race cars. Well, then he started saying, "Remember when the race car filled up with fire and I couldn't breathe?" And we were like, huh? Like he would talk like that all the time, though. All the time, like normal amounts of, it was woven into normal conversations. And he also would say things like to my sister, "Remember when I was in your stomach and I could breathe in the water," or something like that. It's like, what? So I'm reading 2 short examples of this that I found on part of a group on Facebook, and it's just like the most amazing posts. This is from Daleen Fritz with her permission. And she said, 2 things my grandson, who's 3, said to us puzzled me. One day out of the blue, he told my daughter his other mommy and daddy beat him. Confused, my daughter asked him who, but he could not explain it. He just said my other mommy and daddy, as if she had to know who they were. My other mommy and daddy, Oh my God, I shouldn't laugh because he's saying beat. That sounds awful. 2, my daughter had a nursing pillow that needed to be fixed. When my grandson saw the filling, he said, "That looks just like wool." This is a 3-year-old. We asked him, how does he know what wool looks like? And he answered, "I saw it on the big farm." And then she asked, "What big farm?" He said, "That big farm with the sheep on it." And then he looked at us as if he can't understand why we don't know about the big farm he's talking about. He was never on a farm, and he never touched raw wool. So that's interesting. And there's a lot of examples of this. I don't know if you're familiar with this. If you've had this experience, I'd love to hear from you. If your child or your granddaughter or grandson or niece, nephew, whatever, if you're around a child that talks like this, I'm definitely wanting to hear from you. Either you can email me at deathtalkcafe@gmail.com, or you can send me a message from the deathtalkpodcast.com website. Here's another one. This is from Sheila Heselden. My granddaughter, when she was about 3 years old, used to talk to me about her past lives. Seems like she had more than one. She talked of her other mommy and daddy and her other life often. She told me that in her other life, I was her mommy, not her nanny. She said her and her other mommy and daddy were standing beside a big hole. They were all shot and fell into the hole, but she crawled out. Another time she said she drowned, but when she woke up, she was told to wait for her new mommy and daddy. She stopped talking about her other lives when she reached about 5. That's been my experience with what I found out too, is that it seems to be around 5 or 6 when they stop talking about it. And then most of them don't have any memory of it. I just think that's really fascinating, because I remember when my nephew would talk about it. I think if you don't have kids that talk like this, maybe you think that someone's putting something in their mind or something like that, or they saw something. But having witnessed it firsthand with my nephew, it's a weird thing. It feels like they're totally confident, they're totally clear, and it's persistent. It's like every day something about this race car. And he was very clear about it, and he wasn't waiting for our validation. He was just like, "Oh yeah, that's in the race car." But it was only when I'd say questions like, "Well, where is the race car?" And he'd kind of like, I could tell he was like kind of stuck. Like, actually, where is the race car? It's almost like but he didn't want, that's the only time where I saw him kind of go, it's over there. And then he'd kind of walk away because he's like, I don't know where the race car is. But now he's grown and he doesn't remember any of that. So it's really interesting. But just want to remind you that there's more out there than what you see and hear on a normal basis. Hope you have a good day. If you would like to share your death story, you can send your death story as a written email, or you can send an audio file of yourself explaining your death story to deathtalkcafe@gmail.com. For more information, you can visit our website at deathtalkpodcast.com. Thank you for listening.